Let's get to our top story this morning. The 3 wildfires continuing to burn up north. So as a warning hangs over thousands of heads this morning, this is fast-moving flames are spreading through Minnesota's northland. Right now, you're looking at the view from one of the firefighters who are battling from the sky. Now, as of this morning, 20,000 acres have burned up in St. Louis County, taking with it 150 structures.
Dozens of people have been forced to leave their homes, and we just checked. None of these 3 fires are contained. The Camp House fire is the largest. It scorched 12,000 acres. That's near Brimson. Next, the Jenkins Creek fire. It's blazed through 6,800 acres. And finally, the Munger Shaw fire has burned 1,300 acres. WCCO sent crews to the Northland to learn more about how the community is responding. And our Barrett Leone joining us from the live desk with how, Barrett, people are really coming together now.
Yeah, the community is showing up for each other in big ways, especially in Brimson, where the largest fire continues to rage on. Our crews found help ready and available at Hugo's Bar. As families are learning about lost homes or seeking shelter, the bar has become a community hub of sorts. It's offering up snack food coolers of drinks and dozens of pizzas for volunteers and displaced residents, all of which are donations. Owners tell us they've been open nonstop since wildfires started, and they'll continue to remain a resource to folks. We caught up with former firefighters ready to step in and do anything they can.
When there's a time of need, we come together. This is by far for the first time. It's always.
And we will sit with friends and listen to more stories and see where we can help. And even if it's just for somebody's shoulder to cry on.
Right.
I am just so proud of our community. I really am.
While Hugo's has become an unofficial meetup, St. Louis County announced Friedenberg Community Center in Duluth is being used as an evacuation center. St. Louis County Sheriff Gordon Ramsey also gave an update late last night. We'll hear the latest from him in about a half hour.
All right, Barrett Leone from the live desk with that update. Barrett, thank you. In other news this morning, a judge in Wisconsin is facing the gavel.
Well, she has now been indicted by a grand jury. This on accusations that she helped undocumented immigrants evade ICE. Now, witnesses say Judge Hannah Dugan escorted a man and his attorney out through the jury doors, this while immigration agents were in her courtroom to arrest him. Judge Dugan was arrested last month and was charged with obstruction. She's due in federal court in Milwaukee tomorrow.
Meanwhile, we're learning a rough robbery from a few months back might not have been all it seemed. We showed you surveillance video of a man pointing a gun at a woman. He dragged her on the ground and took her purse outside the gas station in Bloomington. Well, police now say it was all staged. They say the woman who did an interview with WCCO shortly after the incident staged the entire thing to try to get a special visa given to undocumented immigrants who are victims of crimes. Police arrested her. The Trump administration wants hundreds more officers on the ground arresting people who are undocumented.
Now, he is planning on sending hundreds of border agents to help with immigration and custom enforcement across the country. This is border crossings have plummeted. The National Guard units are being tapped to help along with agents from the FBI, ATF, DEA, as well as federal marshals. This could all start happening this week.
President Trump today wraps up his trip to Saudi Arabia and heads to Qatar. Front and center on his trip to Qatar, a luxury jumbo jet and the president's decision to accept that gift from the Qatari government. The president continues to face bipartisan criticism over that decision. We know the White House also touted agreements for billions of dollars in investments after meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince. Now, while overseas, the president also focused on issues back here at home, like pushing Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. All this as the House GOP weighs a bill to cut $2 trillion in spending over the next decade, which could carry with it some major slashing to Medicaid. Now, there's been a lot of concern around those potential Medicaid cuts, especially what it means for Minnesotans, Heather.
Yeah, Republicans in the U.S. House introduced this legislation over the weekend, and if it passes, it could have significant impacts on the 71 million Americans on Medicaid. This, of course, a program that provides health insurance for low-income adults, children, and people with disabilities. Now, Republicans say the idea behind these proposed changes would be to tighten up federal purse strings and reduce fraud. The law would require people to prove twice a year that they are putting in 80 hours a month, whether it's working, volunteering, or studying. It would also force families to pay more out-of-pocket costs depending on the type of doctor visit. And the proposal would cut funding to states that allow undocumented immigrants to use Medicaid. Now, policy experts warn slashing Medicaid could mean 8 million people could lose health care coverage and that it would pose a risk to hospitals who are relying on the program.